A lot of people ask the question, what is my purpose, or how do I find my specific destiny and walk it out? First of all, I like to say that God, we know that He died for us for a specific universal purpose that's common to all of us. He wants us to live our lives better and to be free of the limitations that the devil has had us bound in. God came to break, those limiting barriers, if you will. We're uniquely different. I mentioned before that we're recreated in Him. We're His workmanship, His handiwork, if you will. So while our universal purpose is the same, we want all men to be drawn to Jesus. We want all men to understand the freedom that His life sacrificed for us to have. We get an opportunity to display our specific part based on how He's created us to be uniquely different. Our personality adds just a slight twinge to the process in moving toward that common purpose. For a person to really understand uniquely how God can use them to bring forth that universal purpose of all mankind, to get others to understand the goodness of God, as I explained, and have people be drawn to Christ, right? That's why we have evangelists out there and pastors and prophets and teachers. The common message is the same. Come to the cross, come to know Jesus, who died on the cross, I should say. Come to know what He's done for us and how we can be saved and enjoy this new life that He has for us. But God, in His creativity and His diversity, gives us all unique assignments. So the universal purpose is the same. We want to understand our unique walk individually. For example, I'll just make something up. He may say, I would like you to fashion cards and write a specific message on the card so that when people grasp the card on the holidays, on their birthdays, they're going to feel drawn closer to me. So that is a unique talent, but the ultimate purpose is to have people drawn to the universal purpose of God. So that's a distinction that people can help to understand. They learn their specific path by looking at what are the things that they've learned throughout life. In our natural process, in our schooling and things like that, we learn skills. Then we have values. There are things that we consider highly important. And then there are things that we'll find that we can call them gifts. We do with ease. When you look at how those things intersect, those things that you consider to be valuable or highly important to you, your gifts, and those trade skills that you've learned over time, you can begin to kind of clearly understand how God has wired you, in a sense. We've all heard this phrase, a square peg trying to fit in a round hole, right? That's a kind of a metaphor, if you will, for someone who is trying to mimic or do something that they weren't necessarily designed for. God gives us all specific talents, gifts, I should say. Gifts. A lot of times people suppress them because they inadvertently think they're too easy. And it is, on the contrary, those things that are easy, that we do with a lot of joy and a lot of fun and effortless, those are most of the time the gifts that God wants to stir up within us. So layering that with asking yourself a question, can I display my gift in a particular environment that allows me to, say for example, if you value flexibility of your time, allows for me to have time with my family. So that'll be your values bucket. And then you would understand the things that you say you really, really, really love, writing music and it just flows. You sit down and you write music, but flexibility. You got to be flexible in whatever you're doing. And then you marry that with skills. So you don't go off and try to get skills to be a lumberjack. You want to have your accompanying skills complement that gifting element and your value, so that when you go and you use it, you're in that environment that we talked about, love, peace, and joy, where it just flows and you don't feel that you're a square peg in a round hole.